So we're going to the art bus. It's cold, but I've had the heater on in there for a little while, so I'm hoping it's warmed up. Oh yeah, I think it has. I brought my cozy socks and my cozy blanket just in case. But I don't know, Matt might need them, I don't know. I was gonna bring my slippers, but my hands were full. So, put this stuff down. Some here. Okay. I like Mr. Rogers right now. I've always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I think before we get started, I'm going to make a cup of tea. That means I gotta turn the heater off for a minute. Yeah. I also have to go get water. So we'll be right back. The good thing about going to get the water was that I could get my slippers. Why aren't you turning on? Oh, now it turns on. Okay. I'm like, what the heck? Of course, after I call my husband over here. You guys, I'm forgetting everything. Whale. Technically don't need sweetener. So that's fine. I'll just go without sweetener today. I hope you've grabbed a cup of something so we can create together. I'm gonna fix this little workstation area. Turn this back on. You guys, we're gonna laugh so hard, I think. So I put everything out on my table and thought I was recording. And while I was putting everything out on the table, I was doing a little commentary on the past few days and weeks. And I went to go get my iPad for my reference photo, and I looked at the phone and it was on pause the whole time. So I think that might be a blessing for all of you to not listen to my commentary. But what I did was I wet this piece of watercolor. I talked about how this is my very last piece of watercolor, so I do need to order supplies, which brought me to asking y'all, what's your favorite non-Amazon shop to order art supplies from? Specifically in the US. I have ordered from Blick, and I've ordered from Jerry's, and I just wondered if you all have any other vendors or places that you like to order art supplies from. So today I'm gonna practice a little bit of watercolor. Like I said, this is my last piece of watercolor paper. So I'm gonna probably just do from here over. I'm just gonna use this for, dabbing, but I'm just going to do a watercolor of Wynter, looking at the creek. So I feel like I'd overwhelm myself if I tried to do a face of Wynter. because I'm kind of out of practice with that kind of stuff. So yeah, I thought I'd give myself a little bit of permission to play and kind of look at proportions and, you know, see how it goes with a non-cartoon painting. It's way too big. So we'll just go smaller. Be nice if I could find my art eraser. Hey, is that an actual? I think that's an actual art eraser. So it's been a crazy couple weeks. I was really, we've been experiencing a lot of cold weather here, and the art bus isn't really suited for that yet. So today I'm using one of our home heating sources. We have a couple in there. So I took one, and the art bus is feeling a lot better now. But yeah, I haven't spent a lot of time in here because of the weather. And I hope to be more prepared for the next winter. But this winter I was not, and it got really cold in here. And I couldn't work in here. So it turned out okay because I had a lot of commissions, digital commissions, and those are a totally different type of creativity for me because it's for someone else and they've ordered a certain thing to look a certain way, and so it's not as free-flowing. Basically, for my brain, I totally am in a different zone when I do commissions than when I create for the joy of creating, like I'm doing today. And so it's been a bit of a transition to get my brain back into the joy of creating. And I'm welcoming it very much because it feels really good. That's not really right. I've had a lot of reflection as far as this channel goes, and I'm not doing anything drastic, but I am kind of growing with my channel and learning what I do like to do and what I don't. And I'm kind of learning. I think that's really all I can say is I'm learning. And I appreciate you guys sticking with me while I learn. But I feel like I'm kind of feeling connected more with some of my subscribers and community that we're building here. And that's been really pleasant. What's been difficult is something I kind of have brought on myself, which is I like to do so many different things. You know, I like to explore watercolor. I like to explore markers and ink and collage and bookmaking and air dry clay, and I have materials to paint on canvases. I have things that I want to make paper with. You know, it's endless. And so I think what I'm kind of feeling is like there's so many good things to do in this world of art, but it's like walking into Walmart. It's when you walk into Walmart, for me, it's like there's so many things everywhere that it's overwhelming, and that's how it feels with my art right now. I don't have a focus, but also I would get bored with a focus. And so what I'm attempting to kind of do is bring it in a little bit, kind of like a happy medium of not everything under the sun, because woodworking, wood burning, all the things I mentioned before, that all falls under the umbrella of creating. And you know, and then each week I'm like, what am I going to make this week? What do I want to explore this week? And what do people want to see? And what do I want to do? And so I think I'm going to be bringing that in a little bit. There'll still be a variety. And it's not all figured out yet, but it will be kind of tightened up a little bit so that I can feel like I have, what's the word? Content, like art mediums that I can pull from that are relatable, maybe. Like, what I'm trying to say is maybe it will be in the paper, watercolor, painting, bookmaking, junk journaling, like those kind of things might be grouped together, and I might not do like clay and wood burning and things like that. I don't know, I haven't figured it out, but I know that I need to do something to kind of like give myself freedom to explore, but also a little bit of guidelines to stay within, like when you color. I don't know. I'm not really digging this flat brush. The water doesn't squeeze out as much. And yeah, it's not easy to use like the other brushes are. This is the first time I've tried to paint Wynter. So let's see how it goes. I'm definitely not going to keep using this brush. All right. I'll nip this in the bud right now. Gotta get a little area of water to work with for this brush. Honestly, you guys, if I didn't have my creativity and the little community we're creating, life right now would be a lot harder, because it would be creating helps me. It's kind of like therapy, you know. It helps me work through things. And right now there's a lot of heavy things going on. We're not using that brush probably ever again. Yeah, so we're gonna let Wynter on the rocks dry a little bit while we talk briefly. Long story short, I'm going to begin a second channel. I think it's gonna be called Nat Draws Cats, and it'll be linked below this video. There won't be a video on there yet. I am going to do a video tomorrow, and because I don't have an outside job or an outside thing that I do, I feel like I have the space to explore another channel, creating art, creating a comic, whatever, on that channel, rather than trying to weave in everything I'm into. You know, I am undiagnosed. However, I have a lot of tendencies around ADHD and ADD. I'm hoping to get diagnosed this year, just so I know what I'm dealing with, because just having an idea of what you're dealing with, it doesn't feel like I am in control of it. But when I know what I have and what I'm dealing with, then I think I'll feel more in control of it, and that I can give myself a little bit more grace, because I don't have a lot of focus a lot of times, and then other times I'm so focused on one thing. Anyways, instead of having a channel where I just go crazy and I do everything under the sun and I feel all over the place, it's been on my mind for a while now, probably 2 months, that I branch out and do a comic channel. So documenting my journey to create the comic and to make the comic and to publish the comic. And I feel like it's something that I really want to work on regularly, in addition to painting and woodworking and wood burning and, you know, all the other stuff I love to do. So yeah, I'm going to start a new channel. I am going to keep this one going. I love this channel. It just feels, we've been together for a while, me and this channel. And I've gone through some phases on it, and I don't know that that's helped it or hurt it, but I'm starting to feel connected with some of y'all that tune in regularly. It's a small handful, and that's okay with me because I'm an introvert. So I think that having another channel will help me be able to create with the comic and explore that on a different path, so to speak. I'm sure that there'll be some overlap, but generally speaking, Nat Draws Cats will be about that. Alternatively, I have kind of pulled back from other social media. It has become a place that I don't enjoy spending time, and sometimes I feel out of habit I go there and see what my friends are up to, or but even when I do that, a bunch of stuff I don't really want to see or hear about comes up. And it's not that I want to put my head in the sand, but I don't need to see stuff all day, every day. So I have I've created a space on Substack. I'll leave that below too. It's totally free on there to follow me. But there I will be sharing my art journey and sharing my life in regards to, living tiny and being in a slower living mindset. And so far I love it over there because my feed is full of creative things and people and art, and that's how I want to keep it. And I feel like I'm in more control of the people I'm spending time with online. So that Substack is Nat Silver, and my newsletter that I haven't published yet, it will be called Nat Draws Cats as well. So that'll kind of like be parallel with the YouTube channel. So let's go see if this watercolor is dry enough to work on some more. Okay. Okay, I think the these rocks need a little bit more brown in them. Too dark. Wynter and Butch. Butch is the orange tabby that you might have seen on some of my videos, and we were fostering him for our friends, but we have all decided together collectively that we would adopt him. And so Butch is technically in our tribe now. But anyways, Kinsey and Wynter and Butch were all in here earlier together. And it was really fun and sweet, but I couldn't keep them in here because it was a little too cold, and they were, kind of restless, and I want them to be comfortable. They also sleep a good part of the day, and I wanted them to be warm and cozy. So they're in the home bus. Those of you that deal with a lot colder weather than we've had, I don't know how you do it. I'm not longing for my Florida life, but I like being cold as long as I can be warm and get warm. But I don't like being freezing cold, if that makes sense. I think it's probably normal. Who cares if it's not, right? Why am I trying to be normal? That's never worked for me. I'm kind of realizing that some of you might wonder if I finished my other watercolor. my plein air that I went out to the creek before it got cold and I sat there and painted? And the answer is no. I have not touched it since that day. I may finish it. I would like to, quote, finish it to the best of my ability. I just don't know when that'll be. I'm working on making some different tones in the water, and I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know how I feel about this. But I am getting practice in. I kind of like that coloring of the water. I'm going to make it a little darker down here where the water comes up to the bank. Level water on Wynter. Let's see if I can get that off. Well, y'all, I want to thank y'all for joining me today on the video. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. I'd love to hear what you're working on. If you want to let me know in the comments what you're creating, or if I inspired you to go try a medium you're not really comfortable with yet, but that you want to try. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope you'll do so. And please look below for the information that we talked about earlier. If you wanted to follow me on Substack, you can. I'm not going to really be super active on the other platforms. So YouTube and Substack are going to be the kind of like the hubs of where I'll be. So if you want to connect over there, let's do it. Until next week, take care. Hey y'all, real quick from my home bus, I almost forgot. I do a live stream on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern where we have fun and create art together. So if you're down to do that, tune into the channel on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and I hope to see you there.